Okay, let's unpack this. You know that feeling, right? When you decide, okay, new healthy routine starts today.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe it's a diet, maybe a workout plan, finally getting enough sleep.
Yeah.
And then, well, life happens, and those good intentions just sort of fade.
Yeah.
It can be incredibly frustrating.
Absolutely. We've all been there, I think, setting out with all this enthusiasm only to find ourselves, back in the old patterns before we even realize it.
Yeah.
The desire for healthier habits is almost universal, but actually doing it often feels like, well, navigating a minefield.
Well, this time we're trying to go beyond just wishing and hoping. We've taken a deep dive into the work of Dr. Surta Ramvishnoi from his Building Habits That Stick series that's part of Your Health Deserves a Lifeline in the Lifelines by Supreme Medic podcast.
Right.
Our goal today is really to pull out the science and the practical strategies that can help us create healthy habits that actually become automatic.
Yes.
Not just things we constantly have to force ourselves to do.
Yeah. Exactly. And we're not looking at, quick fixes or the latest fads here. Drawing right from Dr. Vishnoi's insights, we're focusing on the surprising power of making really small, consistent changes.
Small and consistent. Okay.
Yeah, this is about building something sustainable, something for the long run, not about trying to achieve these massive transformations overnight.
Right, not the big New Year's resolution that fizzles out.
Precisely.
So let's get to the heart of it then. Why is it such a struggle? Why is it so hard to make healthy habits stick? We all kind of know what we should be doing,
We do.
but consistently doing it feels like such an uphill battle sometimes.
Well, Dr. Vishnoi sheds some light on this, and he looks at the environment we live in today. I mean, think about it. We're constantly faced with distraction.
Oh, yeah.
Our phones, endless streams of information, and our society often seems sort of geared towards instant gratification.
Definitely. Fast food.
Exactly. Think how easy it is to grab fast food for that quick hit of satisfaction compared to, say, preparing a healthy meal, where the benefits are maybe more gradual, more long-term.
Right, our brains seem to really latch on to that immediate reward, don't they? That quick burst of pleasure versus the payoff that comes later. It's a tough competition for our attention.
Precisely. Our brains are, naturally wired to seek out those immediate wins. And this is what Dr. Vishnoi really highlights, small, consistent actions can actually work with this tendency.
Oh, how so?
Well, they generate their own sense of immediate accomplishment. You do the small thing, you feel good, and that builds momentum. That feeling itself becomes its own kind of reward over time.
Okay, so these small actions are key. But how do these tiny steps actually become, hardwired? What's the underlying process? How does a repeated action turn into a real habit?
This is where it gets really interesting. Dr. Vishnoi explains the science using a model called the habit loop. It's actually a pretty simple 3-part cycle. Cue, routine, and reward.
Okay, the habit loop. Cue, routine, reward. Sounds straightforward enough, but how does that sequence actually play out in our daily lives?
Okay, so the cue is basically the trigger. It's what kicks off the behavior. It could be internal, like feeling stressed, or something external, like seeing your water bottle on your desk.
Right.
The routine is the action you take because of that cue. So your water bottle is visible. That's the cue. The routine might be taking a few sips. And then the reward is the positive bit you get afterwards, maybe feeling a bit more refreshed or just less thirsty.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. It's like our brain is creating these little if-then rules almost.
Yeah.
See the cue, do the routine, get the reward.
Exactly. And the loop strengthens.
Right.
Dr. Vishnoi gives another good example. Maybe feeling that afternoon energy slump, that's the cue.
Yep, know that one.
Leading to taking a short walk, the routine, and then experiencing a boost in alertness. That's the reward. The more this cycle repeats, the stronger that neurological connection becomes between the cue, the routine, and the reward.
So it's really about building those pathways, those connections in our brain, just through repetition. It's not just about mentally deciding, I'm going to do this. It's about physically reinforcing it.
Precisely. And understanding this habit loop gives us a really powerful framework for intentionally building new habits, which Dr. Vishnoi breaks down into 5 key actionable steps.
All right, let's get into those steps. We need the practical stuff, the strategies we can start using right away. What's the first step? How do we build habits that last?
Okay, the first step, and this one might seem a bit surprising, maybe even counterintuitive, is to start ridiculously small.
Ridiculously small. Okay.
Yeah, it sounds weird because we usually aim high, right? But the power here is making that initial commitment so easy, so tiny, that it's virtually impossible to fail.
Ah, I see. So you build confidence right away.
Exactly. You build that early confidence, you get started without feeling totally overwhelmed by how big the change feels.
Ridiculously small. I actually love that phrase. So no need for these drastic measures right out of the gate. Can you give us some specific examples from Dr. Vishnoy's work? Like, how small are we talking?
Absolutely. So instead of committing to, say, a full hour at the gym.
Which feels daunting on day one.
Right. He suggests starting with just 5 minutes of exercise. 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Or if you want to try meditation, begin with just 1 minute a day.
1 minute. Wow.
Yeah. Goal is to drink more water. Focus on just adding 1 extra glass to your day. That's it. Or want to move more. Maybe just 5 minutes of stretching each morning when you get up.
Okay.
The key is making that initial action so manageable that you literally can't talk yourself out of doing it. It taps into how our brain works. Avoiding that feeling of being overwhelmed makes it psychologically easier to just start.
Okay, that really reframes things. It's about creating that little win, that initial success, and then building from there. Makes sense. What's the second step in Dr. Vishnoy's strategy?
The second step is to anchor your habit. This is often called habit stacking.
Habit stacking.
Yeah, it involves linking your new tiny habit to an existing daily routine, something you already do automatically.
Ah, so you use an established habit as the trigger for the new one.
Exactly. Think of it as using something you already do without thinking as the cue for your new desired behavior.
Okay, habit stacking, that's a great way to picture it. So how do we actually put this into practice? What are some of Dr. Vishnoy's recommendations?
He gives several really good examples, like after you brush your teeth in the morning, something most of us do automatically, right?
Right.
Do 5 minutes of deep breathing. Or once you've finished your first cup of coffee, take a short walk, maybe just around your home or office.
Okay.
Before you lunch, drink a full glass of water. Or another one he suggests, after brushing your teeth, do a quick 2-minute stretch.
2 minutes, still small.
Still small. After your morning coffee, step outside for just a brief walk. The existing habit, brushing teeth, drinking coffee, acts as that automatic cue for the new, smaller one.
That's brilliant. It creates a built-in reminder, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You don't have to rely on memory or willpower quite as much. The old habit just naturally prompts the new one. Okay, what's Dr. Vishnoy's third step?
Step 3 is make it visible. Our environment, it has a huge impact on our behavior, often more than we realize.
Right.
So by making the cues for our desired habits more obvious, more accessible, we significantly increase the chances of actually acting on them.
So that old saying, out of sight, out of mind,
Yeah.
is really true here then.
Absolutely.
What kind of visual prompts does Dr. Vishnoy recommend?
Well, he suggests things like leaving your yoga mat unrolled, where you'll see it often.
Instead of tucked away in a closet.
Exactly. Or keeping a bowl of fruit right there on your kitchen counter, maybe instead of less healthy options, using visual reminders like alarms on your phone, or even just sticky notes in places you'll see them.
Yeah.
Or just keeping that water bottle right on your desk. These visual cues act like little nudges throughout the day, steering you towards the behavior you want.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like designing your environment to support your goals, so you're not just relying on pure willpower all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the fourth step?
Step 4 is track and celebrate. Dr. Vishnoy really emphasizes the importance of monitoring your progress no matter how small it seems.
Tracking. Okay.
Like how?
It could be super simple, marking an X on a calendar, using a habit tracking app if you like those, or just making a quick note in a journal.
Right.
And just as importantly, maybe more importantly, acknowledging and celebrating even those small victories.
Ugh, the celebration part. That seems key, doesn't it? We often just focus on the tracking and forget to acknowledge the wins.
We do. And Dr. Vishnoy says, every small check mark is progress. Celebrate it. This tells your brain this matters.
Huh. So acknowledging it actually reinforces it.
Absolutely. Acknowledging your effort, however tiny it feels, reinforces that habit loop we talked about. It makes you more likely to continue because it creates a positive association with the new behavior, makes it feel more enjoyable, more rewarding. So tracking shows you the progress, but celebrating actually helps cement the habit.
That's interesting. Does it really have that big an impact, just celebrating small wins?
He argues it does, yes. It taps into that reward part of the habit loop directly. It makes the brain want to repeat the action.
Okay, track and celebrate that positive feedback loop is clearly important. Now, what about the final step, number 5?
Step 5 is crucial. Be flexible, not perfect. This is huge because, let's face it, setbacks are going to happen.
Oh yeah, life gets in the way.
Exactly. Dr. Vishnoi stresses that missing one day is totally normal. It's part of the process, and it doesn't wipe out all the progress you've made.
Okay, that's reassuring.
The real danger, he points out, lies in missing 2 days in a row. That's when the pattern can really start to break down.
Ah, so the rule is never miss twice.
Kind of, yeah. It's about building resilience, not letting one little slip-up spiral into completely abandoning the whole effort.
Right. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Precisely. He encourages just getting back on track as soon as you can rather than throwing in the towel. Progress over perfection, always. Be compassionate with yourself, acknowledge it happened, and just recommit the next day.
These 5 steps: start small, anchor it, make it visible, track and celebrate, be flexible. They seem incredibly practical, really down to earth.
They are.
And Dr. Vishnoi also gives some real-world examples of these micro-habits, right? Which really brings that start small idea to life.
He does, and they're fantastic illustrations of just how small you can begin. So for the goal of, say, moving more, the micro-habit could be 10 squats after each bathroom break.
10 squats. Okay, doable.
Right. To eat better, add 1 serving of vegetables to your dinner each night. Just 1.
Okay, manageable.
Improve sleep. Turn off electronic devices at 9:30 p.m. daily. Reduce stress. Take 3 deep breaths before each meal.
3 breaths, okay.
Drink more water. Keep that refillable bottle at your desk or bedside, always visible.
Those examples are so simple they almost feel too easy. But I guess that's exactly the point, isn't it? Remove that feeling of overwhelm.
That's precisely it.
I remember trying to, learn guitar once, and I tried to practice for an hour every day right from the start.
How'd that go?
Failed miserably within a week. It was just too much. This ridiculously small approach makes way more sense. Maybe 5 minutes would have stuck.
Exactly. Dr. Vishnoi emphasizes that the simplicity is the key to their effectiveness. They're so easily integrated, they don't feel like this massive burden or disruption to your day.
Now, earlier we talked about the habit loop, the cue, routine, reward. What does the neuroscience tell us about how long it generally takes for these repeated actions to become more automatic, to really become ingrained habits?
Yeah, well, Dr. Vishnoi references research suggesting it takes an average of around 66 days for a behavior to become more automatic.
66 days. Okay, about 2 months.
Around that, yeah. But it's really important to remember this is just an average, a guideline. Your own experience might vary quite a bit.
Right.
The actual time it takes can depend on lots of things. How complex the habit is, how consistent you are, your own individual wiring.
But the basic principle holds. Consistent repetition, plus that positive reward signal, strengthens those neural pathways over time.
Absolutely. Every single time you complete that loop, you experience the cue, you perform the routine, you get the reward, you're reinforcing those connections in your brain.
Making the path easier to travel next time.
Exactly. And eventually, as Dr. Vishnoi explains, your brain starts to anticipate the reward just from seeing the cue. The behavior starts to feel more natural, less like something you have to consciously force yourself to do.
So it really becomes less about raw willpower, about gritting your teeth,
Right.
and more about intentionally designing these small, manageable systems, these habits, that align with how our brains actually prefer to work.
That's a crucial insight, I think. It's about creating an environment and setting up routines that make the healthy choice the easy choice, or at least the easier choice.
Rather than constantly fighting against your own natural inclinations.
Exactly. So we understand why habits can be tricky and the basic mechanics of the habit loop. And we have those 5 steps now.
Right. Start small, anchor it.
Make it visible, track, and celebrate. Be flexible.
So bringing it all together then.
Yeah.
What are the absolute key takeaways from Dr. Vishnoi's work that you think we should really hang on to?
Okay, I think the core principles are really these. 1, start with incredibly small actions. Build that momentum, build that confidence. 2, link your new habits to existing routines. Use habit stacking so they become automatic triggers.
Right.
3, make the cues for what you want to do visible in your environment. Set yourself up for success.
Okay.
4, consistently track your progress, even the tiny steps, and crucially, celebrate those small successes. Reinforce the behavior.
Don't forget the celebration.
Definitely not. And 5, remember to be flexible. Be kind to yourself. Setbacks happen. Focus on getting back on track, not on being perfect. Progress over perfection.
And the big picture message seems to be that lasting health, real well-being, It's built on this foundation of consistent, small routines,
Exactly.
not on those dramatic crash and burn, unsustainable bursts of effort we sometimes try.
Right. When these habits truly stick, when they become ingrained, healthy living stops being something you have to consciously strive for all the time.
Yeah.
And it just becomes an automatic part of your everyday life. It transitions from something you actively try to do to something you simply do, often without much conscious thought.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive then, maybe something for you, the listener, to think about. What is just one seemingly insignificant change, one ridiculously small habit you could maybe implement starting today? Something that might feel almost too easy,
Yeah.
but could, over time add up, could lead to a surprisingly significant positive outcome for your future self down the road.
That's a powerful thought.
Yeah. Pick that one small habit, maybe just one of those examples we talked about, and maybe just take that first tiny step today.